All right, here we go. Mitch Durfee live. How's everything going in Florida, brother?
Wow, what's up, G man? How are you?
I'm good. Well, since you asked, I wrote a book. Maybe you're familiar with it as the guy who helped me get it to bestseller.
That's it, man. That's quite the book you have there.
We broke to 250,000. I got to get you a copy next time you're up here. Next time I'm down there.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm thinking about coming up to Boston actually, probably in the next month or so. I don't know. I love Beantown, so
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, that sounds awesome,
for
man. I'd
sure,
love to have
man.
you up here. I'm going to convince you to invest in Fall River. I'm going to get you down here into the city, buy multifamilies. Yeah.
Dude, the cash flow in Fall River. I've looked at some properties there, and I know me and Fabio were up there looking at that market pretty heavily. Dude, Fall
Yep.
River has some banging deals, and people are missing out on some opportunity there, man.
Dude, I'm with you. You just bought a 10 unit, or you got a 10 unit under agreement?
Yeah, I got a 10 unit under agreement right now, and I got another flip, and I just got another property under contract today. I just put it under contract, and I haven't even looked at it yet. It's like I just looked at the numbers. I got myself an inspection clause, so
Yeah.
I'll back out. I'm like, hey, the numbers sound good. Send it over. I'll sign it, and I'll take a look at it tonight. So, hey, whatever, man.
Yeah, that's just how you do business, right? It's like, whatever. Yeah, I'll check it out if I have to. But
Yeah, I'll
that's
figure it out.
what it is. Like, if you don't go
Yeah.
and put an offer in, like, what are the odds you're going to get it?
Gone, dude. Gone. This market is so hot right now. The people that are like, there's investors like us that are a little more seasoned that like when we see deals, we just jump on them. Like, so if you're crunching numbers and you go back to your room and you're like, I'm like, oh, let me think about it overnight. It's gone. It is.
Yeah.
It's
By the time they come back and make a decision, Mitch Durfee's already got under agreement and he's doing his inspection.
then I'm doing my inspection. Yeah. Yeah. That's how I've been doing them lately. And it is because the market's very aggressive. Otherwise, before I was doing the same thing, I would crunch the numbers, I'd sit on it, but I'm just really moving, just moving some deals right now. So you got to stay on top of them.
Yeah, absolutely. We feel the same thing up here. So before we dive in, let's get a little bit about you. Mitch Durfee is the author of the book Serve to Win, also author of the book.
Wait, dude. Hold on. Let me screenshot this.
Millionaire Business Mindset, right?
Yeah, man. Oh, and this one too. Yeah, and this one too.
All right. Okay,
Man.
you're overdoing me here.
No, I can't believe you had both books there, dude.
I'm a big
That's
fan. What
amazing.
can I say?
G-Man, you're my hero, man. That's awesome. I love that. Thank you.
You gotta believe in the people you promote. You gotta believe in the people you hang with, and you put out some really good content. So one of the things that like I say to everybody is read a lot of books. And I fear if I'm fitting 52 in a year, I might as well put some of my friends in there, right? So
Yeah,
solid book, dude.
Yeah, I love that we're on like the same wave though, G-Man, because like I've been reading a book a week for probably the last 3-4 years. So actually, probably closer to 5 years now.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, like the level of success that you start to achieve just from getting books.
It's just,
And that's why I'm so glad, dude.
Yep.
I'm so glad that you finally put a book out there, man. I know I was chewing on your ear for like 2 years, and you finally did it. But like that's the way to give back, right? Like you took all these books and all the knowledge that you were able to compile in 5 years and just throw it into that book. So anyone that's like looking to like bridge the gap from where they are to where you are, like that book is the fastest path there, man. So thank you for doing that for everyone.
dude, thank you, because you were busting, like you were like literally chirping at me constantly for the last 2 years. Like, dude, you gotta write a book. You gotta write a book.
Yeah, man.
Another one, and then another one, and then I'm like, son of a bitch, like, Mitch, what is the secret?
The thing is, I really like, I wrote the first book and I thought there was a lot of stuff in there. And then I felt like I missed a few things. And then after I sold the company, I'm like, okay, well now maybe I should, maybe there's another side of this. So, and I'm getting ready to actually, just started writing another book about this is my big book. This is like the biggest, the 200 pager.
Yep.
This one is like I don't know, like the trilogy of it all coming together. So, Dude, I failed English, man. I don't know if I ever told you that. Like, I failed English in high school.
No way.
This is like my big middle finger. Like,
Yeah, I might not have the best written book, but I got a best-selling book. Actually, they're all best-selling. So.
yeah, dude. Absolutely. I love that, man. So
That's
what are you
cool.
working on these days? I know you got your events coming up. You got a few different things going on. Like, so tell me a little bit more about those, man. I know you have yeah.
I love that you brought it up. I got Agent Alchemist, right? So Agent Alchemist was a great idea, but what we started is Real Estate Alchemist, right? So I am an alchemist. That's the wristband saying out.
I love it.
Over here somewhere. So the whole concept is being an alchemist. What an alchemist is somebody who not just sees a normal deal in like real estate, just go get a deal and make their 70%, 80%, whatever they're making. So it's $3 grand, $4 grand, $5 grand, whatever they're making on a deal. Wholesalers, same thing. Maybe they'll make 5, 10 grand on a deal. What an alchemist is somebody who goes into every single appointment, has a way to make money out of it, right? They're not just not just wholesalers. They're either doing the flip, they're tying everything in together. So now they're an agent wholesaler doing the flip, they're doing the rental, they're doing seller financing, they're collecting money from the seller afterwards and using that money to finance their next deal. It's everything I've learned from all my mentors and companies I've worked in. And it's like, this is how like you make money out of absolutely everything you touch. And then beyond that is, the selfie, so that everybody I'm working with is promoting my business. I'm teaching people how to do the same thing. So it's, that's really what all the seminars are about, is like how to get the money, like how to do the next deal, and just how to not be a normal investor, not be a normal agent, but how to get more money out of every single transaction. Because, the secret is the person who makes the most per transaction is the one who can buy the next client. And that's what
that's true.
Just on that level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with advertisement, right? Like the more you can spend to get your next clients, then the easier it is. And that's why like certain agents are paycheck to paycheck. The heartbeat is a little slower because they haven't figured that out yet. So but you have to be able to pay to be able to take that next agent. And to be able to do that, you have to be creative in figuring out a solution to these deals. And some of the biggest people that I hang out with in this real estate business are doing the same thing, right? Like you said, it's wholesaling, it's flipping, it's, like how am I going to exit this property? Like on the other side, like 4 ways to get out of this deal. Like, is it going to be a rental? Is it fix and flip? Is it going to be a BRRRR? Is it going to be a short-term rental? Like, what do I have to do to get out of this on the other side? And yeah, like when you have those systems in place, like you're able to produce a lot more income, which means you're going to get that, that rocket ship growth. So that's
the whole point, right? That constant growth moving up. And even in this market, right? Like I was looking at some reports, and in the past maybe year, we were doing this. And now these last 3 months, we look like we're topping off a little bit. I know you're doing a lot of flips right now. You're doing wholesale deals. You're buying some rentals. What is your strategy as an investor at this point in the marketplace?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now, currently, I have 5 flip projects, and I have 2 that are under contract that should be closing within the next 30 days, and that 10 flex that I'm closing on in the next 30 days. So it's a lot on my shoulders. 2 in Connecticut, 2 in Ohio, and 1 here in West Palm, and then another one in Cleveland, and then another one in So anyways, my strategy right now is basically I'm building teams, right? Like I'm building these teams. Like you know this model more than anyone. Right. When you build the team and you train them and you give them all your systems and processes and procedures, when you have that good team and they can run your playbook, like it's easy. I show up, I look at the deal, I analyze the deal, and if the numbers work, they jam on it. And then I just inspect, right? I inspect what I expect. I go up, I look at it, I give them pointers and tips, and next thing you know, the deal is already, it's 4 weeks and the deal is done. But to tell you the truth, man, I don't know. Do you like flipping? Because I don't. I really don't like flipping.
I hate it. Yep.
Yeah. Let's be honest, right? Because ultimately the game and the model is long-term passive income, right? Just like like the idea is to create systems and procedures so that you can create income for life.
Right.
So the only reason I'm doing it is because I'm looking for quality builders, people that can they can actually take these projects and just jam on them. And then I'm going to buy multifamily properties with value add opportunities.
Yep.
So anything between 4 and 20 units, I'll buy them with myself or with a partner, JV, some deals, and run these crews through them, increase the value of it, and take the cash back out. So I'm fixing and flipping houses because it's cheaper than buying a multifamily and finding a construction crew, right? Like you don't want to buy a $1 million property and find out your GC sucks.
No. So you're doing the flips right now just as a way to test the crew, build a network, build the guys, build a system. Because really a flip on a multifamily, because that's our model, is the same thing as flipping a single. And just the difference is you put a tenant in instead of selling it.
It's a couple zeros difference, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really, the skills you learn in flipping houses can easily be transferred over to commercial. And And a lot of people like, you know, they do the fix and flips and they think that's sexy. And, you know, I did write a book on buy it and flip it on that too, because a lot of people had questions about it. They're like, you know, and I literally in that book, I spelled it out. I'm like, fixing and flipping is probably the scariest side of this business.
Yep.
It is. It's hard, man.
Yep.
But, you know, yes, you can make some money doing it, but at the same time, like take that money and roll it into another deal and then just take cash for life. Cash for life is a much better model.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with you. So you mentioned some really cool stuff just in the last couple of minutes. You've got deals basically all over the country. I mean, mostly on the East Coast, so like maybe you're not as expansive as you could be, but
there's more time, right?
But you're all over the country right now. But you're from Vermont. I mean, like if you go back, and a lot of it is in your book, but if you go back, like you started out, you know, just trying to get free, and you built a business, and you bought rental property in Vermont. But now you're living in Florida and you're doing deals all over the country. How does that transition happen?
Yeah, I'll give you like the quick 30-second rundown here. So I got back from Afghanistan, and one of the big things I was missing was a solid network of people. And in Vermont, although that was where I was born and raised, there wasn't like the business type of people. And that's actually how we met, right? Like I ended up going down to Massachusetts and we met at and we ended up meeting there, and ever since then we built a great relationship, and we've been able to do some big things together. Even in Florida, right? You know, we met in Florida, and we've met around the world almost now.
So great. I was in town. You're like, yeah, let's meet up. Let's go.
Dude, like you're like a quarter of a mile away from where I was staying. Like that's how small this world is.
That's perfect.
So I came back and I didn't have a network, right? Yeah, and I knew real estate was the model, that's how I was going to generate income. So I started a business mostly to create income so I could buy properties.
Right.
And then I focused on masterminding with people that were in businesses and masterminding with people that had real estate. And it's funny because even the people that owned businesses in my mastermind, my G19 group, the first mastermind group I was in, every single one of those people owned rental properties. Like, and it wasn't like by, you know, coincidence. Like, it's not like we said, hey guys, go out and buy a rental property. And it wasn't like we said, oh, you can't be in this group unless you own a rental property, right? But we had a business, and every single person in there owned rental property.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, maybe I should be doing more of this rental property stuff, right? Like this, you know, a couple $100 a month, maybe it's $1,000 a month. And as you start to scale it up, you know, it can really create some income for you. And that's what I did. So I grew that business, and I grew that business into 4 states, and I started traveling because Vermont was so small, man. I could not make it in Vermont. Like I hit my ceiling in Vermont after about 2 years. I couldn't do more in Vermont. So I started buying around the country. I have property in Colorado, Texas, Florida, Connecticut, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Vermont, Florida, North Carolina. And the reason I'm able to do this is because teams, right? The people that I network with and I build these relationships with. But it didn't happen overnight, right? Like people who are like, okay, well, it took 6 years, but 6 years of like 84-hour weeks. You know, I'm sure you're putting the hours in. I've seen your stories, man. I follow you on Instagram where you're back at the office at 10 o'clock at night to pick up that one thing. But like, it just comes down to what you do with your time, right? Like, you know, choosing the biggest domino, right? There's, I mean, I don't want to look right now, but I'm guessing I probably have over 4,000 emails. But I don't go, like, I'll scan through them and I'll only pick out the good ones, like the ones that are the biggest dominoes that are going to lead to my goals.
Yep.
So it's just being choosy of your time, right?
Right. Yeah. And you know what? I do remember a post from you a while back where you were taking literally the carpet out of your office so you could go and record your podcasts or your videos, and because like you needed the sound editing. Yeah. It's like, dude, you're renovating constantly just to do things like outside the scope. And it was not a normal hour a day.
Yeah, dude, that was a lot. That was after everyone went home. Yeah. That's so funny. But that's, you know, it's funny, like when you look back at it, right? A banger right there. Dude, that's what keeps me feeling sometimes. Yep. But yeah, man, I love catching up with you, man. I love seeing what you're doing. Like, you know, I love like the path that, you know, even yourself, like how long have you been investing in real estate? Like if you went back in time, like it's not that much of a time period.
2013. Like, I bought my first multi, but I bought my first house in 2008, but it was stupid, man. Like,
me too.
Single family. Like,
me too.
Right?
2008.
Oh, so we got it at the same time, and then I like I convinced my wife at the time. I was like, dude, 2012, like, let's sell this thing, go into a multifamily, because nobody would let me buy anything, like, because I had a single family.
Same. Wait, so what'd you buy next?
So I sold that and I bought a 3-family, and then I rolled another 2-family, and yeah. Oh, so you got a 4, whatever.
Whatever, dude. But yours is probably more expensive in Massachusetts than mine. But yeah, I rolled my single family. I went to the fourplex, and after the fourplex, a couple duplexes and triplexes.
Yep.
And then you bought some bigger stuff, right? You got some bigger stuff now?
Yeah,
or?
there was 5, 6, 10s, 4s. Yeah, so it like started stacking up. And
it's amazing, right?
Like that's the stuff, like in the beginning, dude, like I'm buying 21 condos right now. And I never would have thought, right? I never would have thought I'd be doing a deal of this size, because my goal, I had it up on the wall, was I wanted 40 units in the next 10 years, and that was it. I was going to spend my life like helping people. Like after I got the 40 units, I could help like teach people how to do it and whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And, like we're at 42 units, and I see I'm like, dude, like there's no way I'm ever stopping this. Like, how do we get to 100? How do we get to 500? Like, it's just too much fun, you know?
Yeah, I love it, right? I'm passionate about it, which is something I love. And so I write my goals down too every day in the 90-day planner. Right?
That is the next one I got to get. That is awesome.
This is exactly that, right? You know, get that accountability partner, someone that you can check in with, and those things. But like, I did the same thing. Like, my goal was to buy $1 million worth of real estate, because I knew that once I had $1 million worth of real estate, like that would generate me, you know, $100,000 in passive income over time.
Right.
And then I did that, and then 4 months after I bought the $1 million, I hit 2 million, and then it was 2.3, and then it just kept going. And it's like wow, like, you know, how small were we thinking when we first started?
It's
right.
Yeah, it's like, it's painful, because it's like, man, like if only we dreamed a little bigger.
But and even now, like sometimes, like, you know, I catch myself, you know, I go back to these fourplexes right now. Like, even I just had a conversation with an investor yesterday. I'm like, I can turn a fourplex so quick, like. You know, the cap rates are so easy. You can turn them over pretty quick, and they start cash flowing. But it's the same amount of effort and time and like phone calls and headaches and, you know, your day, like to go after maybe an 8-plex or 12-plex or 20 unit like building.
It really is.
But it's what you're comfortable with, right? You know, and maybe, you know, how much can you bite off, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and you're a real estate agent as well, right? So like, you're working with your clients, and I've seen it personally. I'll talk to somebody, and you know, they're like having this conversation like me and you, like firing off, like, yeah, this is what we got to do, this is what we got to do, this is what we got to do. And then they'll be like, okay, so I really want to get a 2-family. And I'm like, wow, like I thought we were like right there. Why are we doing a 2? We could do a 6.
Keep going. Yeah. Bigger. Yeah. I know. And Fall River's got some great deals too, man. Like, if people are like, I know you got, like Fall River, I'm telling you, the rental rates there when you renovate these things, man, are incredible. Like, incredible cash flow.
Oh, the ROI is nuts. If you're not making 25% cash on cash, like you've made a mistake somehow. It's impossible. And then some of our stuff's 36%. We're closer up to that 35, 36.
Yeah, I'm usually over 30. Exactly. Like, I'll look at it at 20, but you know, and it's got to have some other figure, maybe less headaches, less, you know, maintenance or something. But I'm with you. Like people keep going, well, I'll get you 10% of your money. I'm like, maybe 10 years ago,
right?
You know, maybe in 2008, right? Because that was good. But once you understand this business and you start to look at some of the different models, you're like, I got to get 30% of my cash.
Like for all the risk we're taking, the headache. Like, if we're not, like, what's the point? You know, you could go in like. I have you got Robinhood. You ever trade with those guys?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So I got all the REITs in Robinhood, and I'm getting like 12 to 18% dividend yield. It's like, dude, why would I like put any risk into things unless I'm getting, you know, this massive equity play, this massive depreciation, the appreciation, like, and this 36% return on investment. Like, other than that, like I can just play dumb and put it into stocks, right?
Yeah, be late, you know, the lazy investor, which is good for some people. You know, if that's you, that's what you want to do. But I'm in acquisition mode. Like, I'm literally like
raise capital mode right now. It's just boom, explode. Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing a lot of lately. Like, this week I had 2 meetings with investors. You know, people that have some equity they want to put into some deals. And I don't know if you're doing this, but like sometimes I want to invest with them, but I'd rather JV with them.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know. I don't know what it is, but like, I think there's just a different comfort level or something or whatever it is. Like, but I want to put my capital in and I want to double my money up. And sometimes I just don't take them on. But I know that in order for me to go to the bigger levels, I have to raise money.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been getting myself out of my comfort zone, and I've been making the phone calls, and I'm shooting for the bigger deals here.
Yeah,
So.
and it's one of those things. Grant Cardone talks about it, right? And you're a big fan of Grant. You're living in the same city as him. So,
yeah, just down the road. Yep.
Right? Like he's right around there somewhere, like right down the block.
He lives over here.
So it's one of those things that like he's always talking about. He's like, you shouldn't do anything less than 16. Go if you got 50 grand, go raise another 200,000 from your buddies and go buy $1 million deal.
Yeah.
And I've been having the same thing, getting over it because I'm so used to getting such a high return. I've had a business partner the last 2 years. And, you know, I've seen a massive growth just having him in there because he takes a lot of systems and he brings capital. But now we're looking at expanding even the condos. We're bringing private money investors in. We're not really bringing equity play in this, but we're bringing a few guys in for, you know, just paying them 12% interest. And that's a big step for us because it's like, man, like these guys, I've been asked for years to get in deals, and I'm like, nah, like we don't really need it.
So you don't have to tell me, but are you paying them less than like 15% for their money? Like
12%, yeah.
12%, yeah. So perfect. And I actually just had this conversation with one of my investment partners, and I'm like, dude, we're making 30% on our cash. Why are we not just paying someone 12% for them and taking the skinny on the other side? Like I'll take 18% of whatever they invest. Like I'm okay with that.
Right.
And I think so that's why it becomes so important for you to raise capital, especially if you're getting this 30% cash on cash.
Right.
Like you raise $1 million, you pay them their percentage, and you take the split. Right.
Yeah. And it's super simple, right? Like you raise $1 million, you're paying $100,000 a year, right? So it's like whatever. If you raise $1 million, you're building like this building brings in $176,000 a year, as is below market rents.
Yeah, below market.
Once we switch it up, like yeah.
And that's the other thing, man. A lot of people are missing out on those opportunities right now. They're looking at deals and they're like, well, like they're missing that what market rent is. That piece on a deal, like it's something that savvy investors notice. They're like, oh yeah, they're getting $750 a unit here or whatever. Like that's great because market rent's $950. Let's bump it, you know?
Right.
Like and so you can buy a deal at like a 7 cap or an 8 cap and then raise the rents and add another 10% on there, like 10-15%. So.
Yeah, that's value add. Like that's the whole point in real estate investing is when the rents are low, perfect. Like that's what we're looking for. When the tenants are terrible, excellent. Like
great tenants. Opportunity.
Or like the obvious one that everybody's looking for is a shitty building, but I'd much rather have a great building with shitty tenants because that is so much easier to fix.
Yeah, great buildings are good.
For us, once you're like at that level. But most people are scared of the people. It's like,
dude, totally, man. Yeah. That's why, like you said, it comes down to like so many different ways to make a deal work. I love it, man. I love it. So what's next on your schedule here going forward, man? We're actually coming up to Q4. So this is when we got to get strong and bump it all in. So what are you focused on in the next few months going ahead?
So
you got the book out there. You got your audiobook coming out, it looks like.
Yep. So I just fired that off to Fiverr. I got the guy, he's like reviewing it. He's uploading it to ACX for me. So I did it myself, which Mitch, like, oh my God, it's so difficult.
I did it. I
know. Like I listened to yours and I was like, oh, like I wanted to hear your voice in my head, like talking to me.
Yeah. So congratulations to you for doing that. Congratulations to you.
Well, we'll see how it comes out, but like I completely get it, and I honestly like if I known how much work it was going to be. I may have definitely left more time on the table to do this. But I set a goal, and I was up till 2:00 in the morning one night, just like, no, I said I'm going to do it today.
I know, man. I know.
So that's coming out. And then really we're just focused on the events. You know, like at some point I want huge events where we're just filling the room and giving so much value for the same reason you're doing your flips in those different markets. You know, we're doing training in different markets so we can get the teams ready. You know, build them, train them up, and when I'm ready to buy in, say I'm North Carolina or Vegas or Florida, boom, set the team. They're all going to be wearing wristbands that say I'm an alchemist. So I'm walking into events, like people know, like, oh, you're an alchemist. Boom, conversation starts here, not at the beginning.
Yeah, Dude, I like that, man. And the same thing, like, so I do speaking, like the speaking events and stuff like that is because,
Yes.
like, actually my last deal, one of my last deals here in West Palm Beach came from someone that was in the class. They were just starting off as a wholesaler. They didn't know what, they didn't really have a lot of experience.
Yep.
And, so they had a deal, and I looked at the deal, I toured the deal, and I'm like, look, you can try to wholesale it, and if you're not able to, I'll take it off your hands and I'll pay you a wholesaler fee.
Yep.
But like, so there is some great value just, for
Huge.
like just doing those things and helping so help them get their first wholesale deal.
Yes.
And now now they know how to do it from here going forward. Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think like I love speaking at these events because I love, like you said, sharing as much value, like bridging that gap that, what was it? 6 years, 4 years, 4-year gap that we went between single family and multifamily, bridging that gap into like a 2-day session.
Yep.
Like, dude, I wish I could just shake people and be like, it's possible. Like, no, it's so easy. Like, just take action, just do it and figure it out. Just like that property I put under contract today.
Yep.
Put it under contract, I'll figure it out.
I'll go through it eventually, right? It's under contract. I got to now.
Yeah, I got to. Yeah. So I got 7 days to figure this thing out. I'll be up there on Saturday, or whatever it is. Yeah.
That's why I see you flying all the time. You're like going out and checking property, and if you spent $800 getting out there and back, but you're making 30 grand on a deal, well worth it.
Exactly. Like, and a lot of people were like, "Oh man, you're traveling." I'm like, "Yeah, but I work in the airports. I work on the plane. I got the Wi-Fi on the plane. It's like, and I'm lucky enough. I'm blessed enough to be able to work from my laptop and my phone. So it's really not much. I get to take a nap on the plane. If I'm working in the office, I look a little awkward when I'm passed out there. But yeah, I go up to Cleveland every couple of weeks to check on the projects we have going.
Yep.
And also to acquire more property. Like on Monday next week, I know I will be buying another duplex, triplex, or quadplex.
Nice.
And agents love that too, right? Like as an agent, like when I come in town, they're like he's buying something, so we have to get something.
Let's line them all up so you're gonna buy something.
Yep. Yeah. And last time, like me and 2 other partners, we looked at like 100 properties, like in like the 4-day period. We just jammed on properties. We're like, nope, this isn't gonna do, like, because we're just in that acquisition phase right now.
Yeah, and Cleveland, Ohio it's a hell of a market. So what do you have going on? So you've got a lot going on, and I hate it when we do interviews and somebody doesn't sell something. So I need you to sell me on something that you've got going on, because I know you got a ton of value no matter what you choose. But what is your biggest product now? What are you looking to sell? What is maybe the most fun for you to sell? What you got? I know you got a bunch of products. So
yeah, so let's do this, right? So I have a few different programs, right? If you're looking to build your team, like I do have a program, an online course that will literally walk you through. If you have a service business or you're a professional business, whatever it is, and you're looking to free up some more of your time, I have a course called How to Build Your $1 Million Team. Yep. It's $1,000. And like, if I knew 5 years ago, like what that course could do for me in my business, like my first business, I did everything myself and I made $85,000. The second business, I hired everyone, and within the first year, we did over $1 million. So for $1,000, I would say it's worth it.
Yeah.
But
that's honestly, a product that I endorse 100%. Like that's been by far a huge response for me, huge return on investment. So
yeah, man,
definitely. Yeah. And I appreciate you
for sure
putting that out there for us.
Thank you.
What else you got going on? Nope.
The Real Estate Property Warriors group is a totally free group, right? Going back to this like contribution thing, like there are so many heavy hitters in this Real Estate Property Warriors group. Yep. And, again, I hope you promote your events in there, man, because these people need you. Like these people really need the skills that you have in real estate. So promote your events in there all the time, please. If anyone's watching this right now, and yeah, thank you. If anyone's watching and you're interested in real estate or you have questions about real estate, contracts, what to comp it at, where to buy, anything like this, like this, it's a national group. There's people all around the country that are buying property in here. A lot of people in there have over $1 million worth of real estate. I've done probably 10 to 20 units worth of deals at a minimum. But maybe you're just getting started. Like it's there for you. So ask the questions. I remember, a lot of our members that joined the group within the last year thought about doing it and bought their first investment property. So within 12 months, you can get the skills just to do that. That's free. And then I have my golden ticket mastermind group, right? Mastermind groups. Think and Grow Rich. I know you read it.
Yep.
It's I know it's probably sitting on your shelf here somewhere.
on the shelf.
Which one is it? Yeah. But there you go. I knew it was there.
Oh yeah.
So Think and Grow Rich, right? The power of a mastermind group. When I started masterminding, I was able to scale my business into 4 states. I was able to build my real estate teams. I was able to do all these things. It's a monthly fee. If you're interested in it, just go to mitchdurfee.com/golden-ticket and check it out. You can even find it on my website, just mitchdurfee.com. It's by application only because we have like a 0 asshole policy. Like, it is what it is. Like, you are there to contribute to the people that are in this group, and the people that are inside this group are just giving value, and it's like magic to me. Because like, it was an idea of something that, you know, I was taking from these mastermind groups, right? I was going to these things to get, and now I created this ecosystem where so many entrepreneurs are able to just give value to each other and all, you know, just rise up, man. So that's it. That's all I'm selling. Of course, this book, this one right here, is a really good book, you know, no matter where you are in your journey. But that's it, man. I'm really not big on selling. I am big on giving. That's why I wrote Serve to Win.
Yep.
But at the same time, I know that there is this mental like block. When you pay for something, you appreciate it more and you actually take action. And that's why I, you know, some of the courses out there are, you know, you are by pay service only. So cool, yeah, man.
And like, honestly, if I don't tell a lot of entrepreneurs, especially people like you who are just givers, like, you guys will go hire interview and be like, yeah, so what else can I give you right now? It's like,
yeah, I want to give you everything.
On how I can get this, right?
Yeah, man.
Like, sell it to me, bro. No, I think, and honestly, the mastermind is probably the most valuable thing you do.
Thanks, man.
I mean, building teams is how do you build your own masterminds? Like, that's ultimately what it is, because once you're working together, like, they're just firing off for you. So it's like, you leverage the skill sets of other people. Like, that's really what your gift is.
Hey, dude, honestly, like I said, man, like, when I came back from Iraq the first time and started my first business, I just worked. I put the shoulder to the wheel and I worked. And I really capped out at that $100,000. But like, I tell people this all the time, like, whatever income you're trying to make, whatever number that is, let's just say it's $100,000. Like, you know, you have to make $300 a day, right? Isn't it easier if you split that up with a couple of different people? Like, if you have 10 people, you have each person on your team has to make $30. Like, that's much easier. Yeah. Yeah.
It's fractionated.
Yeah. And, you know, add a couple of zeros to it if you want to go, you know, to $1 million or, you know, whatever it is. And that's why within real estate, like I honestly, I couldn't do 5 flips if I didn't have teams in each one of these cities. Like I have core people that are running these operations in each one of these cities, in Vermont and Connecticut and Ohio and Florida. And I just, honestly, at this point in time, I just give them the systems. Like, what do you need from me? And then I go find the person that can give them that thing. So, but here's the other thing. What's interesting is like, and you already know this, right? Like, when you start to do this, like, you're spending more of your time asking questions. So you're elevating even faster,
right?
Because you're not doing like the task. You're not making the widget. Like you're getting the education, and now when they have questions, you're getting questions from every single person in the system. So you just become a better leader, and it gives more. It's amazing how it works when you build a team.
Yeah, love it. These last 5 minutes were like pure gold.
Thanks, man.
It was pure gold. So I'm definitely gonna like put a teaser on this thing. Like, you got to listen to the end, like, not skip to the end, but listen to the end of this, because that's where the money is.
Awesome, man.
So Mitch, you and I could hang out all day, man. Thank you so much for everything that you bring to the table, for always giving, and for always being available as a friend. So I appreciate you, brother.
And I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for this opportunity to chat with you. I love how we just went right into it. Like, you're like, we're recording right off the bat. I love that. I'm like, let's do it.
So, because I know if we don't, like, all of this good stuff gets cut out. So. Yeah,
we would talk for hours, man. Well, I love what you're doing, man, and congratulations on your new #1 national best-selling book. Dude, that's it, man.
Up to $250,000.
Yeah, dude, I love it, man.
To generate income, not to work.
That's it, dude. And go out there and have an amazing weekend. I know you're probably going to be in the grind lab, but enjoy some time. And I'll catch up with you soon, man.
You too, brother. Guys, when you have a choice, always work with the best. If you want to get more from Mitch Durfee, it's www.mitchdurfee.com. I'll see you guys out there. Cheers.
See you, buddy.
Later, Mitch.